Welcome, everyone, to the November meeting of Land Preservation. We are calling ourselves to order at about 2 minutes after 4. Lisa, would you call the roll, please?
Daryl Burkhart,
Here.
Janine, not. Mary Beth,
Here.
Lisa Pappas here, David Reed,
Here.
Tim Redmond,
Yes.
Liz Wiseman,
Here.
and Barry Lonick and Chris Chang are here. Okay.
So.
Approval of the agenda. Have you all had a chance to look at the agenda? Are there any changes that you want to make?
Aye.
This is the time.
I move we accept the agenda.
You move, we accept it.
Second.
And second from Daryl. Any other discussion or changes from anybody? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved as is. Approval of the minutes. Lisa did these last month. Thank you very much for stepping in and doing that. Any changes to the minutes? Any
Yes.
corrections?
Yes.
Okay.
First, under federal grant funding, particularly the last sentence where it says, in the end, it was decided that our CCP funding that had been promised would be retroactively reinstated to landowners. It was incorrect. Barry, you were going to write something up for this?
Yes. First of all, it's RCPP.
So maybe those minutes weren't as good as you thought.
They
were-
perfect.
You were excellent. Backpedal on the flattery.
No, never.
And the amount is actually, it was 24.6 million, so you could say 25. Instead of 22. And they had not already been awarded to property owners. I'm not sure how to phrase this exactly.
Can you send Lisa corrected
Sure.
language that we could, and we will have to.
Or Daryl.
Or Daryl, why Daryl?
Oh, I thought she's the one that.
Well, I can.
Yeah, or either one.
I'll
of you.
touch base with
Sure.
Barry on it, but yeah, I
Yeah.
can. Okay.
And so we are correct, Barry and Daryl, we are correcting that language.
Yeah.
Are you all, the rest of you, okay with accepting that correction?
It's, basically, changing the acronym, changing the amount and. the
It's
money
still
didn't
in
go to-
court.
The money didn't go to property owners, it was committed to the partners to be used to purchase easements. And it was $6 million in Scio, so that's accurate, so it's just a couple of small
Okay, good deal, that'll be
changes
great.
there.
Any other changes or corrections to the minutes? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yes.
Yes, Daryl.
So under the BioProtect cell, where it states, well, some of it's just language changes, but it says Pappas had also shared that the former BPS committee had devised a category by category scoring system to rank and evaluate applications for the former Wren's property, but that additional enhancement to the actual RFP should be made before pursuing another BPS opportunity. And I changed that so that it says, but that the RFP and RFP scoring process should be revisited and revised before pursuing. So it's just changing the language a little bit, clarifying it.
Change it in the Google document?
Yeah, I should be able to. And I have the changes here, so,
Great. Oh, perfect. Thanks.
okay.
Revisited and revised as needed.
Revisited and revised, I'll be glad to put as needed.
I also added into that document, the paragraph that Tim had shared that I thought was good.
But I would challenge that paragraph, so.
Okay, well, it's not, we got a tight meeting today, so
Yeah, so that's for the committee.
that's fine.
Okay, then under. This is under what section? Renewal of consulting contract for Barry Lonick. I changed some things in there. Because you have, one, I don't, you have me and you feeling that the process would take at least 6 months. I don't think it will take at least 6 months, so I'm a little uncomfortable with that. I also did not use a word of causing considerable turmoil, and I don't want to have it, because you said she, meaning me, expressed frustration with the same issue arose last year, causing considerable turmoil. Those were not my words. So I've modified this again.
Yeah, if you could put the word that you'd prefer. And
Yeah, I've got modifications. It's just tweaking it. And then under Ann Arbor's, this is under open session consultants report with Barry talking about the Ann Arbor's new Bluebell program. You've got saying that the Ann Arbor's Greenbelt program covers the eastern part of Washtenaw County, while Bluebell will cover western Washtenaw County. What that is the Ann Arbor Greenbelt program covers the eastern 2/3 of Scio Township.
Okay.
And the Bluebell will cover the western third of Scio Townships. I have this as well, and I'll send it to you and make changes if everyone's okay with this. And then down at the bottom of that section of Barry's report, you again have Legacy Lands Conservancy's lawsuit, indicating that the award would be retroactively reimbursed for their lost funding. And I think what was happening when Barry was talking about what is the state thing, the 116?
PA 116.
PA 116 with the tax credits, that got kind of intermingled with the RCPP award. And anyway, that should just come out completely, that paragraph.
I think you would do really good notes.
I'm
serious.
Making a case for
I
that.
am also working on some other issues with South Township that I'm trying to get done this weekend, where I have to do a lot of research. So, and I will have to work off the streaming. I'm not good at doing it in live like this, so.
Daryl, thank you for the close reading. That was helpful. And Lisa, thank you for correcting, and if you can get those to,
Streaming. Sorry.
if you can get those to me when you can, no hurry, I will send them in to Christie. In Fran's absence. Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the minutes for the October meeting with those corrections?
So moved.
Support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the minutes for October are approved with changes. Public comments. We have a room full of people. This is a room full for us. So we are delighted to have any public comments from you all.
Dave Lutton from Baker Road Land Holdings. Since I submitted the revised application, this has come, it's a certificate of completion of the cleanup work that I mentioned in my additional remarks. And I guess the other thing I'd tell you relative to the entire Sloan Kingsley project is that Monday night, the Dexter Council passed a resolution to proceed with annexation of a different portion of the 245 or so acres. I'm here if anybody wants to ask questions. I'm assuming you're in the process of considering the application. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
That will be, I'm sorry, Tim, you go. We'll discuss in closed session for sure, but if anyone in the meantime has questions for Dave, he's right here.
I'm just saying, glad to hear it, Dave. Glad to hear that worked out. Dexter.
Progressing, I think, yes.
Any other questions for Dave Lutton right now? Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
I'll make a public comment. please.
Yes, please.
Kathleen Brand, Scio trustee. The news from Dexter is not good for Scio. It's not Scio. Congratulations kind of news. This is 45 acres that are in Scio Township. It doesn't look favorable that Dexter is thinking not to discuss this with Scio Township. So that's problematic. So Thanks.
I'll add a comment. I believe Mayor Scio in Dexter is communicating directly with Kathleen Noel for the Scio board.
Okay, thank you both. Any other public comments? Murphy, you just sitting out there quietly? No comments? Yes. Okay, all right, we're glad to have you. Chris, is there anyone online?
Yes, we have Jim Culbertson with our hand up.
Hi, Jan.
Hi, how are you? I just wanted to say
Thank
that
you.
I'm here. I wanted to direct your attention to um, the overlay that I shared with you of the bioreserves and our open overlay ordinance, and remind you of our December 1st workshop in person with the Huron River Watershed Council. The bioreserve map is something that I know you all consider when you're evaluating properties. So that was it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jan.
Can you remind on that workshop, December 1st?
Yeah, December 1st from 6 to 8 in the meeting hall.
Thanks.
Jan, will there be any, will that be on the township website or anything like that?
Yeah, we have to get that all worked out. But
Okay.
yes, it will be
Alright.
on the website. You'll be able to I shouldn't say participate, you'll be able to view it. It will be a hybrid meeting, but the Watershed Council says it's really interactive and so encouraging people to come in person.
Great, thank you. I think a lot of people will be interested in that. I think is that all our public commenters?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, reports. David had his report in our packet. Jan just gave her. I will just, I attended parts yesterday. I will just mention a couple of things. I came in late, so that's all I can mention. There's discussion of renaming the Marshall Park so that we don't have two of them. And so if you have suggestions, this is the Marshall Park close to Zebra Road. If you have suggestions, if you go over there and you have, you notice natural features that are significant to you, any suggestions, Murphy's the one. Or, I can take it to Murphy, but we're soliciting, yes. Dave.
I do have an update on last night's board.
Oh, yes, okay, right.
So we originally moved the contract for Tremor Ecology from new business to consent agenda. And then it was pointed out that the hourly rate was wrong. So we took it off the agenda. We got a new contract from Barry this morning, so we need to resubmit it for next meeting, and we'll have probably submitted directly into consent agenda. So,
Does our original vote still work, or do we have to vote
No.
on this?
no, it-
Do we need another vote today is my question. Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
So
okay.
when we come
Okay, I
to
think we'll
old,
do
when we
that.
come to old business, we do that.
There's just the one change. I
Yeah,
believe,
just
right?
one change.
One change, okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from last night?
Well, we approved the funding for the signage, developing signage for parks and preserves, and the request for the Connecting Communities grant. We approved that. We tabled a request for two regular NATs, regular full-time NATs to brush up on the personnel issues. We have to get the grade, they have to get the positions graded, et cetera, et cetera. So we hope to bring that at the next meeting. And it might be too big to put in consent, but we talked about it enough. I would hope it go to consent. But we did approve the extension of the contract for the NATs until the end of the year,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good. All right.
against the wishes of certain people who shall remain anonymous.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Just one more thing on the parks. I'll just mention for the Parks report, the Five Oaks Preserve, which is the old Sykert property. Has it been officially named
Yes.
by the board yet?
It's officially
Okay,
named.
so it is the Five Oaks Preserve now. The parking lot construction is scheduled to start in next spring of 26. Okay, I will mention that.
Is there a group of 5 Oaks there?
There is. Do
Okay.
you
I
think we
can't
just
picture-
make that up?
They're not together. They're not like,
Oh, okay.
there's 5 different.
I'm like, okay.
Species.
Got it.
Yeah.
There may be more, but at least 5.
Challenge.
That would be a nice press release or something.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Old business, financial statements, Daryl, what do you?
Okay, so we have our financial statements for September. I will point out that under the interest earnings, these are not complete statements. There still should be a journal entry for interest earnings. It's more than $3. So we'll kind of take a look at that next month, because we tend to run a month behind, and I think with the transition of that's happening over accounting, that just got missed for this month.
Okay,
Okay?
very good. Nothing else to note today?
No. No, although I will ask, Barry, if you could please, for the land easement acquisition costs, whenever we have bills coming in, could you just please send me a copy so I can know exactly what each of those dollar amounts are when it comes through?
Good. Thank you, Daryl. Now we have federal grant funding status report was on our monthly agenda. Are there any changes that, I guess, Barry, that you would know about?
Nothing on RCPP.
Okay.
But I was originally told it would be December when we had word on the hearing that took place in September. One quick update on the ASAP program, the federal grant program that we've tapped into many times. I noted here in my session minutes, this report, that the webinar for the next round of funding was posted in September for an October date. Of course, the employees of the Natural Resources Conservation Service were not in the office throughout the month of October, and so it didn't happen. I got an email today from those same staff people saying they've rescheduled it now for December, so they're back in the office, at least temporarily. So that's an update there, that we'll have an opportunity if we have any properties to.
Good. Okay.
And that webinar is just informational purposes, and there'll be a deadline sometime, yes, early next year.
Oh, so the deadline's later, this,
Yes, correct.
Okay, sorry.
It's just the webinar rolling out the next round
Okay.
of funding.
Okay.
Next month.
Very good. Tremor Ecology contract renewal, that's Barry's contract. David gave a pretty solid report on that just now. Any questions for David or Barry? Barry sent out this morning then a contract for 2026. The only change in that contract from last year is that Barry's hourly rate for project work, which means things like coming to this meeting, it went from $120 an hour to $125 an hour. And this was a change that Barry made for all his township clients. So that is the change that we are So I'm going to ask for a motion to approve
I move approve
a recommendation.
a recommendation to the board to approve Barry's contract for next year.
Okay, that's Daryl and support by David. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Very good. Abandonment of the Levine easement. Barry, do you want to talk about this?
Sure. So I think it was last month that there's a request on the table for the older Levines, Arthur and Marjorie, for Scio Township to abandon the access easement that we negotiated as part of the conservation easement on the 8 acres of land that we ended up selling to them with a large pole barn is located. At that time, we did not have ownership of the adjacent property to the east. And we were wanting to have a means of getting from Marshall Road north to the woods that we own further to the north. Subsequently, we bought the property to the east of that. It was Virginia Loveland's property, what we're going to be calling the Marshall Preserve, after her late husband. And so we technically don't need that access easement on the Levine property anymore. The recommendation from you all was to see if we could do a little horse trading and say we will abandon that easement if their son Mike and his partner Erica would be willing to provide us with a smaller access easement across the very northeast corner of their property so that we can link up the woods that we now own with woods that we hope to own sometime in the future. And Mike Levine's response to that was, no, thank you, we're not interested. So we need to revisit that issue in the future. In the meantime, it's still on the table about the request of the senior Levines to abandon the access easement on their property.
So that is back before us today because I would like us to vote to follow up with the Levines. They have asked that we abandon that eastern easement that we will never use because we don't need it. We were gonna, do this exchange and they said no to that. I think my view is that the right thing to do is to say, we don't need this eastern side easement. We will abandon. We will recommend that the township abandon that easement. And so I just want to open that for discussion and see what you all think.
Yeah.
This was probably in September. that
Yeah, I
We asked the
remember.
board to approve that,
Yeah.
and they did.
Barry, was there any discussion from Michael or Erica about why there, no way, why they won't give us a little sliver?
He just said they weren't interested, and whenever I've gone out there for my annual monitoring visits with Mike, he was always squawking about it. He just didn't like the idea of there being any public use of his property. And we negotiated that original easement on his property. When we did that conservation easement, and it ran for 10 years and then expired earlier this year. And he was very happy about that. And I said, would you be willing to do just a little, very, what do you want to do anything? Of course, we weren't offering them any compensation for that also. But nevertheless, it just seemed like they were completely opposed to having any public use of their property.
Which makes sense to me.
Sure. It's not unusual. It's, the vast majority of people don't want any access to the property.
Well, the little gateway is barely use of their property. Right? It's just the transition from the piece that we own to the piece that we hope to own
Yes,
is a sliver.
yes.
So it's hardly having people on their property.
Hmm.
That- that-
I would challenge that statement. So I can see where he's coming from.
Where?
Well, it is his property. He may not want anyone on it. He doesn't actually have to defend that position. And also whenever you, in this, there's always a possibility that there could be a liability issue,
A what?
a liability issue. I mean, for this purpose, Colorado has a law that protects landowners who grant easements from liability. I don't know if Michigan has that.
They do. Michigan has that as well.
Thank you, okay.
But nevertheless, you can cite that statute if somebody sues you, but you still have to defend yourself. So there's potentially some cost, certainly, at least in time, if not hiring an attorney to do that. So it's a hassle,
Well,
even
and
though the law protects them.
if we don't need that easement anymore, can we just make a recommendation to the Board of Trustees that we abandon that easement?
The eastern easement, without any quid pro quo. That's the proposal on the table, because he has said, even though it is a small piece of property, he says no.
Well, and the quid pro quo between two different parties.
Yeah,
So it's
it
not
is.
really a
That's true
quid
too.
pro quo. You're saying, well, do this for you, but then you've got to get this person over here to, and so
That's true.
it's,
Well, we're under no obligation. South
To what?
Township is under no obligation. This commission to let go of the easement, right?
No, but they made that request.
Why would we want to hang on to it?
a bargaining tool. Yes, and I'm fully aware that Barry tried that, but, I mean, I guess I just don't like the attitude
Of,
of, Dean and
Hmm.
Michael and Erica.
yeah,
No, I can understand it, but still, I think the township has helped them. Right? And
they were able to afford the property that they purchased and live on and work
days
by
past,
virtue of us having purchased an easement on it first.
yeah.
I submit that they don't owe us anything for
They
that.
don't know us anything.
No, of course they don't owe us anything, and we don't owe them anything either.
Well, it's a request. It's just a request that we
I know
give
that.
them what
I know, we don't.
we don't need.
The
Hmm.
approval.
Well, I personally would like to make a movement that we recommend to the board to abandon the easement since we no longer need it. I think it's no longer has a purpose.
So that was already on the table and nobody seconded
Yeah.
that.
Oh, was it already on the table?
Well, I had said I would.
Okay.
Well, I will second it. I mean, I just
And
didn't,
then, because it sounds like we all feel differently about it, so.
yes,
we
and
do
we're
need-
going to feel.
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second
Yes.
to recommend to the board that the Scio Township abandon the easement running along the eastern side of the Levine property next to the DD Marshall Reserve.
Now, this is the parents' property, correct?
Correct.
So we have to say which Levine property.
Yes,
And
and
we
we
have a,
can actually work off of our original motion, which has all that, it has all that language. in it.
With a parcel number or the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our original motion has all the description, correct description. So we have a motion, we have a second. Is there any further discussion? You ready for a vote? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Okay,
Oh, I can't.
no, you have to vote, you have to know we can't abstain. Because you
Okay.
do not have a conflict, an interest.
Okay,
So either yes or no.
yeah, he's no.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't hear. Okay, sorry.
okay, the motion passes. Thank you all. Fibertech Cell Study Committee Report. So you all met since we had our last meeting, and I don't know who would like to speak, but I'm excited to hear what you have come up with.
Oh, okay, well, we basically, the main thing that we accomplished last week was to come up with a scoring criteria for the buy, protect, sell agreements or properties that may be submitted for that. And our goal for this next meeting, I believe, is to come up with a template RFP to be used. Is that pretty much?
Darryl, I couldn't hear the last couple of words you said. Come up with.
To come up with a template for an actual RFP,
Yeah.
the language of an RFP. But I think we've got the scoring system, it's just now, what do you say in an RFP? And what do you request? Is my understanding. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
That sounds correct.
Thank you for doing this. Are you going to be able to meet before our December meeting?
This Sunday.
Oh, are you? Great, yeah. Thank you for hosting. Thank you, organizing.
And he's hosting second.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
what is the date of it? Sure.
His is this Sunday
Coming Sunday.
at 10:30 at David Reed's house.
22nd.
I'm sorry.
This Sunday.
This Sunday.
At 10:30.
Okay, thank you for doing that. Everybody, this is good steps in the right direction. Tim, have you sent a letter to the board of trustees expressing your interest in continuing?
Yeah.
You did,
I have.
okay. Somehow I missed that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The caption just spins and spins, and I don't know if it's gone in or not. Got it with Chris a little.
I have to tell Christie to put it up.
So my question, yeah, that's my question for you, because Janine said this will be my November, and she's not here.
She
This will be
submitted-
my last, she did submit hers, and of course, you're the third one.
So
She said, when are they gonna vote? Can I come in December? Is what is her question.
I would say, come until you're told not to.
Okay, so I told her I'd get back to her, but here I'm just asking you today, so.
We'll make sure it gets on tomorrow. I'll make sure
Okay,
Christie puts it
thank
on. 28th, I think.
Okay,
not the
that sounds right.
2 weeks from
So the people that are
25th.
re-upping to reapplying,
Yes,
they should come to the Board of Trustees.
they don't need to.
Okay, all right,
They've put in a letter of, I have to. They,
okay,
they put in their letter of interest and they've already been on the thing and the board
Okay.
knows who they are, so. they
yeah,
know.
okay.
Okay, thank you very much for doing that.
If you want to.
I'm very glad that
Bring
everybody's.
I am too.
Entertaining.
I agree. You're a farmer, we need you. All right, attendance, next month's meeting is December 11th. Does anyone know that they will not be here? You'll be here, all right. Everyone else in good shape?
Well, I'll be coming from my staff holiday
Please.
party, so,
Oh.
maybe I shouldn't do notes that day. Just gonna
I
say,
hope Janine, I
yeah,
know those are wild
Yeah,
events.
yeah.
We'll get a hand card so we can wheel you in.
yeah,
Okay, I think we will have a quorum then for next month. Thank you all. New business. Is there any new business? I did not have any new business for this meeting. Does anyone have anything they want to like to put in here? Otherwise, we're gonna move on. We've got plenty to do. Barry, are you ready for your open session consultant
I am.
report?
So a couple of things to start. I sent you all a chart that the Ann Arbor Greenbelt program provided for the expansion of their interest area, what they call the Blue Belt, which will now cover, as we talked about earlier, the western third of Scio Township. So those are the criteria in the flow chart that apply. There were no sections of Scio Township listed under the groundwater recharge area. And I asked Rosie at the Greenbelt program about that, and she said there actually was one section in the township. So we're limited in that regard, but any property that has a stream on it, and you'll note that at the top of the chart, it says that they're looking for conserving riparian buffers that has a flowing surface water on it. Honey Creek is one of those creek sheds, and of course, most of Scio Township is in the Honey Creek shed. So they're looking for 100-foot vegetative or forested riparian buffer, or a landowner willing to install that. And if that exists, then they'll be eligible for those funds. And it's still very new. I asked her today actually about what percentage of appraised value that they might be willing to cover. And she said, again, this is just for the western third of the township. The eastern 2/3 is still in the green belt, and there's more flexibility there. The same, that's not changed at all. But for this new blue belt on the western third of the township, she said, at least initially, that they would prefer not to consider anything more than a 30% request. So I think overall, if we're, have a property on the west side of the township, that's something on the order of 20 to maybe 25, 30 at max, is something that we could hope to get from them. Now, there's one property, a couple of properties that we'll talk about in closed session that would apply. So just in terms of putting together a funding picture, it would be different than thinking of, for example, the Van Curler Preserve, which is in the Greenbelt, that we split in thirds. That won't happen in this case. So something on the order of 25%, I think is a
25?
reasonable ask of them.
Oh, good.
So there's that, and we do have properties that would qualify, ones that are in hand now, and also ones that will be coming online in the future. Lots of updates, on the PS 116 issue, and I see my phone buzzing right now with Senator Schenck calling me, but I'll get back to her.
I don't want to take it, go in the hall.
That's okay.
She may be telling you about money.
So the legislation was introduced to fix this problem that we've run into. And that was maybe 3 weeks ago. And then actually 2 weeks ago, today. Last Thursday, there was a hearing in the state Senate, Natural Resources and Agriculture Committee, which Senator Schenck chairs. A number of us went for that. A number of us testified there. Did a good showing. They said they like to have bodies in the room for such things. We had bodies in the room. And a lot of great testimony from folks across the state, Land Conservancy folks, folks like me that operate these kinds of programs, and a number of farmers that came, including one guy from Washington County, and folks from Ottawa, and Kent County as well, and talked about how this change of interpretation by the Ag Department is having a very negative impact on them. We talked before about $10,000 to $20,000 a year that people receive in these tax credits. So there were 6 areas of the statute that needed to be amended. So 6 different bills were introduced to do that. Each one handling a different piece of the statute. 3 of those were introduced by Democrats, 3 of them by Republicans. As a show of the bipartisan support that exists for this issue. And all 6 of them passed out of committee unanimously. And are to be taken up by the Senate sometime soon. We were hoping it would be yesterday. That did not happen. And the legislature goes on hunting break starting tomorrow for the rest of the month. So the next opportunity for having any further action on this is in early December.
What do they call it? Optic break?
It's got some name like that, yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
So there was some great progress. I started thinking in terms of there being 6 steps involved. One of them was having the legislation be introduced. Second one was having a committee hearing and getting it passed out of committee. So that was step 2. Third step is to have the Senate approve that. Fourth step would be to have a House hearing and then approval by the House and ultimately signed by the governor. And we were hoping to get that accomplished all this year, so there wouldn't be any question about those who have conservation easements that also had these state farmland agreements on them, that they would be able to access their tax credits for 2025. A number of them have received letters from the Ag Department saying that they would not receive their tax credits this year, which is disturbing.
But prior to the introduction of this legislation.
Yes. Ag Department staff also testified at the hearing. They said they were neutral on this package of 6 bills. It means they're not opposed to them, but they're also not favorable to them, which is a typical position for a department to take. The curveball that the department threw in was that they have been seeking for a while an increase in the amount of funds that can be tapped to staff the program. I think it's been capped at 1.4 million, if I remember correctly, and they've asked for an increase up to 2.1 million. So there was a separate bill, separate from R6, that was introduced, discussed at this hearing last week. And also passed out of committee, although not unanimously. The one Republican that was present voted against that. We understand that there is not support for that in the House of Representatives, and that if it is what they call tie-barred to our package of 6 bills, that it will die. And so my endeavor with Senator Schenck in the last couple of days here, this all happened just within the last couple of days. I texted Senator Shink yesterday morning, said we would like you to see if you can have that fee increase bill separated from our 6 bill, so we can get that through the House and get the governor's signature on it before the end of the year. And we had a Zoom on Tuesday about this, and we all said we'll support that bill also going forward. It's just if it's going to kill our bills in the short term, then it's not. But we can't support that. But then we would collectively in a future time support that bill. Several of us also said there's a cap on the amount of funds that can be used for grants for the easement program. That's 1.9 million right now. It has been for the last 4 or 5 years that this program has been back online. And yet there's a $10 million fund balance available. So 5 or 6 properties got funded last year. And then they ran up against the limit, and we said, but there's $10 million in the fund. Can we lift that cap also? And so I've suggested that we tie in our support of increasing the amount of administrative fee that the department can charge for operating this program with an increase in the amount of grant funds that would be available. We'll see where that goes. We're working our way through that at this point. Actually texted Senator Shink this morning and said she was supposed to meet yesterday with the governor's office and one of the other state senators who's been a key advocate for these, for our bills. And she said there's ongoing discussions. And I just actually saw a text since we got here also from the Farm Bureau rep that we've been working with, who knows the legislative process and all the people involved way better than any of us do. That there was positive discussions today on that. So fingers are still crossed, but there's been a great deal of progress on that, and we're hopeful that we'll get it passed and signed.
So this year is still a possibility.
It'd be tight.
It's tight,
You know,
yeah.
there's only a couple of weeks when they're back in session in December before they take off for the holidays.
That's right, sure.
But it appears that if there's support all the way around. So we don't have to have there doesn't need to be a House committee hearing. That would be the ideal situation. Typically, in both the House and the Senate, a bill is introduced, is discussed, and then they have a subsequent meeting a week later and then vote on it. In the Senate, we were able to get it out of committee the same day. We could still do that in the House, possibly. Or it could go directly to the House floor. It doesn't necessarily need to go through committee. It can skirt around that. So there's a couple of ways that things could go. Anyway, great progress on that. But still some hurdles to jump. And then finally, I'm done with fall monitoring. And I'm happy to report there weren't any issues on any of our properties. I try to get that done before firearm season, which of course is Saturday. And I got my last one in Webster done this afternoon. Wonderful walk on a beautiful sunny day.
Yeah.
Barry, we have 23. Do you remember?
I think we have total. And so combined with all the other ones that you know, in Webster and Ann Arbor Township that I'm responsible for monitoring, it's about 60 overall. And so I split them up between spring and fall. So I'll do, if it's 23 in Scio, I'm doing 10 or 12 in the fall.
I'm curious how many, I thought it was 23. I just wanted to confirm that number.
It sounds right, but I don't know. I can't tell you off the top of my head, but it's something along those lines.
Not for today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's keeping me busy this time of year.
Okay,
Which is great.
that's good in the monitoring.
Yes, and in terms of our projects that are under contract currently and hence public, on the Hicks property, I noted in my comments that we were waiting for the federal shutdown to end, which finally did. And I noted earlier the email that I got from NRCS staff today. And I wrote back to him and said, glad you're back. You know, I've been thinking about you. And in the next couple of days, I will respond to him and say, so can we move this along? I mean, I'm guessing they just got back to the office maybe today or yesterday, and they've been gone for 5 weeks. And so then there's probably an enormous backlog of stuff that they're going to wade through. So I'll give them a little bit of breathing space there. But we also do have a deadline to close in the current purchase agreement. But I set off to Mariah yesterday, I think it was, a draft of a second amendment to the purchase agreement, giving us another 3 months. Just in case we can't get it done by the end of, by
Okay,
December
so
19th.
end
which
of
is
March.
A month from now, yeah. It could be done, but it'll be tight. And so I thought we should go ahead and have another amendment, so we don't have to worry about that. And I notified, John Hicks about that, and he was very understanding. And then on the Fletcher property, I have requested closing statements on that. I've seen an updated title commitment. But I haven't seen the closing statements on that one just yet, but, we're shooting to close that here in the next couple of weeks. And on the Lobato property, same deal. I did see some draft closing statements on that one. And there were a couple of errors, that I pointed out, and I just, before I dashed out the door to come here, there was some revised closing statements on that one, so we're looking like that's gonna close. One of the questions that we had was, in the title commitment, it said that there wasn't any access to the property because it's on a private road. And Mariah pointed out that in the easement, we have access by virtue of that private road. And indicated that to the title company, and they said that was good enough for them. So we did not need to have a separate access agreement for that. So I think we're poised to get that one done here in the next couple of weeks. So hoping to close both of those yet this year. Hicks would be great if we can do that. A little more uncertain just because of the federal government share of that. And that is all for the open session report.
Yeah, very good. We're making progress. Yeah, Gerald.
And could I just real quick go back to new business because I forgot to say one thing.
Absolutely,
before we go on
sure.
to closing.
Yeah.
South Township has started their annual budget process with developing a capital improvements plan and the budget, and that's one of the things that we're currently working with Chris and Barry on that.
Thank you for doing
And
that.
just to let you guys know, that's on the table.
Okay, Barry, would you go ahead with your summary of closed session topics?
So we have one property where the board has approved the expenditure to purchase the property. And the purchase agreement was delivered a couple of weeks ago. Just waiting for a response from the owner. I actually texted him today about that. He's had it a week or two now.
It's 2025-2,
-3.
-3.
Yes, and the County Natural Area Committee visited that property and loved it. They have not done their prioritization yet for this year. Actually, they may have, but they haven't presented it to the County Parks Commission just yet, so that'll happen in December. But everybody loved that property, and there's no question that they will contribute a good chunk of the purchase price on that. And that's one that the Blue Belt, I think, also would contribute to, something in that 20 to 30% range. And so it may be that we split the difference between the county and the city. I'm sorry, the county and the township. The County Natural Use Committee also visited another property that is 2025-1. Not sure how that will rank for them, but that will affect the next offer that we make to that owner. And that's one that the Board of Trustees has also, authorized a certain amount of money to be offered. And then a third property that the board has authorized a purchase. The owner thought the appraisal was too low
Oh,
and sent me a bunch of other sales. And I haven't had a chance to wade through those yet, so to deal with that. We have 2 properties to score in the closed session, 2 new applications. Both of them are open space properties, not agricultural properties. That's it, really.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't think there will be any, there might be an action coming out of closed session back in open session. I
Okay,
could see one for sure.
that's fine.
Okay.
That's why I'm glad we have a chunk of time for closed session.
Yes.
That we
Go into closed session, that means you have to read a little paragraph.
Operations pursuant to section 15.268 D.
Did we need to ask for public comments first?
Yes.
Yeah, we got the public comment.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yes, thank you. You're ahead of.
Do you have public comment?
Public comments, any public comments out here? Any online, Chris?
No.
Okay.
We're in place.
Thanks. Okay, you're on.
Okay, I decided I was gonna make this motion so that nobody else had to read this thing, but we all take our turns. I move that we go into closed session for the discussion of pending property valuations pursuant to section 15.268 D of the Michigan Open Meetings Act, specifically to consider the purchase or lease of real property up to the time an option to purchase or lease that real property is obtained.
Is there a second?
Support.
Second.
Support.
Second.
Two supports. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are moving into closed session.
We just moved and supported. I'm
Tim was the mover and Daryl.
Okay, thank you.
coordinated.
David and I were gonna fight over it.
Can you ask me a question? It's fine with me.
I was just wondering if there were any sessions gonna be done about possible preserve.
I move that we go back into open session.
Is there support for that? Support.
Support.
All in favor?
I.
We are back in open session.
Lisa Pappas makes a motion to recommend to the Scio Board of Trustees that we purchase property 2025-5 for up to 500,000 at the Board of Trustees discretion.
Is there support for that motion?
Support.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Do you want to, do we need to do? a
Or do you
roll?
want to, I mean, we're not spending money. We
No,
don't have to.
okay, so we got two,
1,
three
2,
ayes?
3, 4.
Oh, 4 ayes. And opposed?
Opposed?
Aye.
Two opposed. The motion passes.
Okay, so that takes care of it.
Now we do Baker. Oh, we're not gonna do Baker.
Nope, we're not gonna do the other one.
Okay.
And then did you want to make a second?
No,
We use that
you
one.
passed the one.
Okay, all right.
So that stops right there.
Public comment?
Thank you. I apologize for the rush. I appreciate that you heard it and that you spent time thinking about it and your thoughtful discussion about it. Really, I promise if this ever happens again, I'll give you more notice. So, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry that.
So may I ask, we've made the recommendation up to 500. Is there a risk that there will be more from the funds? Because ultimately the board decides.
Sure.
Sure.
So you may think, well.
But I mean, that's not my decision.
No, I know it's not yours.
I don't have any idea how that will go. I think that this is a very generous recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a very generous recommendation
Okay.
and I appreciate that.
If we do, I'm
Lisa,
the accountant
thank you.
here, and we do have to start watching our cash flow. We've been very successful this year, which is wonderful. You have to start watching our cash flow.
If you want to email, well, David has it. I was gonna say if you want to email it to the board, but David has your.
And it's tentative, it's a tentative thing right now, and it'll get changed with these numbers. And I've, some of the numbers I had to guess at just to show, because we have so many properties in progress right now, it's like letting people know we need to start thinking about it. Right.
If you move to adjourn.
Yes, but
We
we
have-
haven't approved the closed session minutes yet.
Oh.
We
The
do.
closed session minutes?
Okay, is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Closed session minutes are approved. Is there, oh,
Public comment?
We don't have a public comment after this. It's 2 before.
Oh, okay.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
So
Yeah.
Carol made.
We are adjourned.
Huh? Wait,
I need the motion to.
yeah, and I'm the second.
Carol sent.
Are you okay?
Are
with
you
CIP?
closing out our minutes?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, good deal.
The
Thank
only
you.
thing was who moved.
I had, I
I know,
modified
right,
it for,
right.
Always look at that.
just real quick, so I can. share
There's
the
an
picture that I
8-acre
shared.
parcel